Accents.
An American once said to me, Lawrence, I love your accent, but Irish ones are way nicer. And sitting with...
Even better than that is Russian accent. Sorry. What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to Let's Talk About American Culture Shocks, an Irish perspective. This will be an interesting one. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like, thank you so much, it's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it, you make my day, have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. I love Lawrence, give him some love. But that said, let's play it.
Hello, this video is sponsored by BritBox, the premier streaming service for Britain's most beloved TV shows. With St. Patrick's Day just around the corner, I thought now would be the perfect time to get an Irish person's insight into some of the culture shocks they've experienced while visiting the United States.
Sure.
And by pure coincidence, I found this Irish person on the streets of Chicago.
Oh, this is amazing. I love both. Lawrence, of course, I mean, for me is one of the best. But Diana react to a couple of her videos, and I also find her channel quite amazing, so this will be a really good one.
Here still, this Irish person happens to be fellow YouTube sensation Diane Jennings. Diane, welcome.
Thank you. Can you move over if I'm going to sit here?
Yes. And today we're going to talk about some of the culture shocks that Diane has experienced on her visit to not just Chicago, but other places in the United States. If, like me, you can't wait to hear what Diane has to say and you haven't had a chance to subscribe to her channel, do that now.
Sure.
In the meantime, let's walk and talk to look more important. Now, you've chosen to visit Chicago in February. Do you think it's important to suffer for your art?
I think it's very important, and I'm suffering right now.
It's freezing, isn't it?
It's a bit cold.
Like the rest of the week's actually been unseasonably warm for this time of year.
Thank you for choosing an outdoor shoot.
You're welcome.
You like to walk and talk because you think it makes you look smart, huh?
Yeah, and then I realized...
Chicago is really that cold, my friends. It seems like a beautiful city, by the way. I'm probably really cold, I'm assuming.
That I didn't prepare for the weather. Do you want to... Should we head back to the hotel?
Let's.
Do that?
Probably.
We could have just clicked in.
They say snapped in America.
Snapped.
Personal space.
So this is by no means your first visit to the United States. What would you say has been your biggest culture shock in all of the times you've visited?
Probably the personal space. Like, people give you personal space in the United States.
I love that.
And as an ambivert, I find that, like, I quite enjoy the personal space. But sometimes, especially Scandinavian people stand, like, there in Europe. So, yeah, I like that.
That's good. What do you think about the toilet cubicle?
Oh, that's bad.
Gap in?
Oh my God, big gap. I was doing it the other day, a thing in the cubicle, and I was literally like, there were people outside and they were like, is there someone in there? Oh, there is. And I was like, that's invasive in a personal space way that I was not familiar with.
It almost feels like they can see you.
They can see you.
They can.
I think they actually made toilets this way for people to not use public toilets. That's my conspiracy theory. But about the personal space, I like that a lot about America. I mean, I'm also don't like if someone really comes close to me if I don't know them, you know. But I think that applies to all cultures, to be honest. But maybe it's even more prevalent in America. So I really like that.
Can they? Did anybody stare?
No, they checked. But that was sufficiently more than I actually looked at on the loo.
I can imagine.
Accents.
An American once said to me, Lawrence, I love your accent, but Irish ones are way nicer. And sitting with...
Even better than that is Russian accent.
You here right now, I do feel a deep sense of inferiority. But I do have a question. Have you been asked about your accent while traveling around America?
I have been asked a little bit about my accent. I don't have a very strong Irish accent, thanks to speech and drama lessons. But yeah, I do get asked about it a little bit, but a lot of times people jump to Canadian rather than Irish because I guess that's a shorter trip. But when you say Ireland, they're like, ah. But they are...
You know, when I think about Irish accent, I think about Conor McGregor. Because I saw a couple of clips, I mean, he has a couple of viral clips on YouTube that appear from time to time to me, and The way he talks is the way I imagine every Irish people talk. Is actually quite nice. Don't get me wrong, and I believe that's one of the reasons Conor McGregor became such a big star in America. Diane, I think, have a nice accent, actually. Not sure if goes direct into the typical stereotype of Irish person. You may tell me in the comments, but it's a beautiful one.
Are a little surprised when you don't sound like a Lucky Charms leprechaun sometimes.
Are you a leprechaun? Or
I am not. I'm over 5'6". I actually didn't realise, but I'm actually considered tall in America.
It's
and
decent,
what about
yeah.
in Ireland?
In Ireland, no. I think the national average height of a woman is about within that area.
Definitely not a leprechaun.
Okay.
Not a leprechaun.
Right. In one of your videos, you made the mind-blowing observation that there are more Americans that identify with Irish ancestry than there are Irish people living in Ireland today.
Yeah.
Do you ever worry that a fight might break out between the two factions, and if so, who would win?
Okay, is that true? If that's true, that's crazy. Irish culture had a huge influence in America, right, my friends? Irish culture is an amazing one. Would you guys agree with that? I think I think America actually has great influence of other countries, and that's why America is such a special place. Is a hot take to say something like that? I don't think so, right? Because Americans are actually amazing, but the mix of different cultures, I believe, made America what it is right now.
The Americans have more guns.
More guns and more people.
More guns and more people. But we are the fighting Irish. So we'd probably just make you all really, really drunk, because I don't think the Americans are very good at drunk fighting.
Right.
And we excel at it.
I don't know about that.
You have a head start of 3 years, 18 versus 21. And I think some of you are probably drinking before 18, let's be honest.
It's not a secret.
Sorry, are we not going to address the continuity fairy in the room here? Shall we play spot the difference with the lighting and the hair and the costumes?
I think I can see this being at least a good fight.
It would be good televised fighting.
And if televised fighting is your cup of tea, then actually look no further than Britain. Or should I say, BritBox, a streaming service with a veritable collection of delightfully gritty British crime dramas, which is much easier to say now that I don't drink. And one of those crime dramas is Death in Paradise. Diane, I imagine you're familiar with that show because series 6 to 9 features Irish legend Ardal O'Hanlon, who I assume you're friends with. Hello. And for those of you who like to stay current, Series 13, or Season 13 if you're American, launched earlier this month. You can stream your other favourite British shows via your smartphone, tablet, desktop, Chromecast, Apple TV or Roku device, as well as LG and Samsung smart TVs. Head to BritBox.com/LostInThePond and use the promo code LostInThePond when signing up for a monthly subscription, and you'll get 50% off your first month. The link is also in my description below. Americans love their Irish things. Guinness, St. Patrick's Day, Cillian Murphy. What are, if anything, some of the Irish things that you've encountered in Chicago this week?
Ooh, me?
Yes, you. Or you yourself, yes. Yeah. That's cheating.
Well, there's a lot of Irish flags everywhere, and I think that's probably because Americans are so in touch with their ancestry. Yeah. Certainly in Britain and in Ireland, we don't really care that much about it. Where you came from as an American person is so important that, like, having flags and stuff like that is good to have.
Yeah.
Okay, this probably will be a culture shock when I go to America, because we don't see a lot of flags here. The Portuguese flag, sometimes it appears when the national team is playing in a big tournament, but it's actually rare to see it. But I think this in America is quite common. I was not a Portuguese, okay. But lost my train of thought. But okay, let's refocus. The thing that I like about this is, you know, there is a lot of history on that flag, and is quite... you know, there is a lot of pride that I think is positive. So I like that Americans, you know, have such great respect for their flag. I wish other countries did the same. I was not aware that you guys also do. So, for example, Germany also had a huge influence in America, right? Is common to see German flags in America. you know, that's a bit confusing to me. I was not expecting the Irish flag to be that common also. So
Irish pubs everywhere.
Have you
in
been
Chicago.
to any Irish?
this makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm reviewing Irish pubs on my channel. Usually when I go to a state, I will do like one video, but I might have to do 2 Irish pub videos for Chicago because there's just so many.
Okay.
Oh, which ones have you been to? Do you remember the names of any?
Mrs. Murphy and Sons?
Is that Killian's mum?
No.
No.
But probably
unrelated.
related because
Could be related.
we're a very small country.
This question comes from my wife's cousin Chad on Twitter.
You know what, my friends? St. Patrick's Day, I know it's a thing, but I don't even know why do you guys celebrate that. I know that sounds dumb, but maybe they explain this one.
You attended the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City. As an Irish person yourself, how did that compare to festivities back home, and did you throw up more?
I didn't throw up at all that particular day.
Chad?
Chad, because I made the mistake of thinking at that time I needed to film the video and get it out in the same day. However, it was a very, very big parade.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I don't think we even saw it through to the very end.
Oh.
And also like enthusiasm
Google.
for Irishness. Like when you just are Irish, you're like, oh, I'm Irish, everyone's Irish.
Yeah.
When you're like an Irish person from Ireland in an Irish parade, everyone's like, ah, so exciting.
And was this sort of thing
Makes
on a
sense.
bigger scale than the sorts of parades you might have in Ireland on St. Patrick's?
Big time. And you know what the funny thing about the Dublin parade, that is like the main one I've been to, is that we import the Americans. Like we have the Irish American marching band, Irish American, you know, jig dancers.
So, St. Patrick's Day, or Fest of St. Patrick, is a religious and cultural holiday held on 17 March, okay? Close. The traditional dead state of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. Okay. Makes sense now. But you guys still celebrate this in America, I'm assuming because of the huge influence Irish people had at one point. Okay, good to know. My friend, quick pause on this one. First of all, hope you are enjoying the video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. But let me share with you one thing. I have a Patreon community where I put content almost every day, a lot of early access videos. So if you want to get them, go to my Patreon, link on my description. And this is of course a good way to support the channel. That said, let's continue with this one and I hope you have fun.
And I heard that you and all your friends really love it when Americans say St. Patty's Day versus St. Paddy's Day. And that's correct, is it?
There's a lot of things we can joke about,
Joke,
Lawrence.
but not that.
That actually.
Oh, that's going to
The
fight.
green thing might be tougher than I thought.
St. Patrick's Day is so popular here that people reprimand others for not wearing green by pinching them.
I know, that's not even a thing back home.
I was going to ask, are Americans just better at handling lawsuits?
No, I think they just like a reason to pinch people.
Ron from accounts where I used to work, he pinched me once on St. Patrick's Day. I was wearing green.
Frowned upon.
Okay.
In your many taste tests of American foods, what has been the food item that you've loved the most? And, because we know that negativity breeds clicks, which is one that you absolutely hated?
Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot. Something in Texas? Texas barbecue!
Was it amazing?
Oh, that's a
Texas
great
barbecue.
choice.
Yum, 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 yum. Now some of my viewers might be watching and they'll be like, no, Diane, you preferred, and you're probably right. I'm just put on the spot here by Lawrence. So, what did I
Oh, but Texas barbecue is a really good choice.
hate? Do you know what? I have an enthusiasm for spiciness, but as an Irish person, we don't handle the spiciness as well as our brave face would have you think.
Yeah.
I think I've imported some things that are super spicy for spicy challenges, and no.
Well, Diane, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I wish I could say the same.
And I'm sure that I speak for everybody when I say that we'd absolutely love to have you on as a guest in the future again.
Maybe someday.
Well, I know the Brits have this whole keep calm and carry on thing, but not addressing these continuity issues does seem to be a massive oversight, Lawrence. Keep calm, carry on.
If you weren't paying attention at the start of this video, please subscribe to Diane's channel now.
It's very bossy the way you say it.
You've got to
This
make
was a
them
fun
do it,
one.
because otherwise they won't. Any parting words?
Goodbye, Lawrence.
See ya. I think that's it. I think that's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
You.
Oh, well.
Do you know where the subway is? I'll show you. It's really
Wait,
great.
I know where it is. I live in
This way.
Chicago. You're
Get
checking me
out.
out.
Get out.
Well, enjoy your stay in Chicago, and I'll be in touch about the edit. That must have just been Irish sarcasm. Hey, listen, Max, I just got kicked out of another interview. Yeah, hey, but this will make you happy. We managed to film 2 videos, right? One for my channel and one that's going to go on her channel in the near future, unless, you know, she burns all of the footage like Mr. Beast did. With my connections, I could have made him huge. Anyway, goodbye, Max. Oh, that's Mum. Sorry. Sorry, Mum.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was happy when I saw the thumbnail with those 2 together, and this video ended up not disappointing. Leave a like if you also end up enjoying this one. Consider to subscribe, of course. Take a look at my Patreon if you want to support me, and see you guys next time.